What is up, Theta Mafia guys? How are we doing? I hope you guys are having a great day. Let's get into it. So before we even hop into the video, I am down $2,676, right? Can you happen to your portfolio? We saw you at like 62,000, last video, right? Or 58,000, right? Somewhere around there. You're bouncing back and forth around there. Guys, I did take $10,000 out of my brokerage to pay for my taxes, right, for next year. I just want to have the money off to the side just in case if we do have a crash. I don't want that money to be tied up in stock and then I had to sell stuff for a loss because we don't want to take L's. So, in the last little update, I do have to tell you guys I did sell another 200 shares of Palantir. I have 50 left. And I'll show you the profit I got on that and then we'll hop in the video, guys. I'm sorry. I just want to keep you guys updated on my portfolio. And we sold and I got a realized profit of $15,347. Guys, if you guys want to know about my portfolio and guys, the plays I make once I make them, guys, please join the free Telegram group down in the description below. I do share my screens. I do share my plays with you guys directly in the Telegram group, so you don't have to wait for my videos to pop out to see what I'm doing, what type of plays I'm trying to make. All right. So please join the free group. You guys are welcome talking it if you want. The link will be in the description below. Okay, guys. Do have a few honorable mentions, right? For stocks that I already bought and stocks that, I plan on buying. Okay, so first and foremost, I do want to talk about Palantir, right? Even though King you just sold. Yes, but if Palantir does go back down, I would say in the range of like $40 to maybe $50 range, I might be interested in picking up some shares of Palantir, right? I might be interested, but we'll see what happens. I still have 50 shares of Palantir, so we'll see what happens. SoFi, I think over the long haul, will still be a banger stock. I still think SoFi will be the next generation of banking. I feel like they're bringing innovation and tech into the banking sector like no other bank has done it before. Okay, I still think SoFi will still be a double from what the price is now at $14.53 by 2030 easily, in my personal opinion. I still think that's easy money. Okay, still super bullish. Another one is Dollar General. Look, I'm from the Midwest. We have tons and tons of Dollar Generals all over the place, right? I have two of them. And I live in a town of a population of 12,000 people, right? And I still see crap ton people go to both of them. So, guys, I am bullish on Dollar General. Now, for the past year, it just hasn't looked so good. But when times get rough, and what I mean by that, if we look at, 2020, it was up, and the crash in 2022, it was up. So kind of like a defensive play in a way. I am currently up 3.44%. I am selling covered calls on Dollar General currently. I don't think I have one now, but I was. And we did, how much we collect? We collected 200. We collected $199.96 on that. We'll do another one probably for like $76. We'll see. And the last one is AMD Advanced Money Destroyer. We are down 49% for the past year, right? Past 5 years, guys, still looking good. Max all time, still looking good. Look, I am currently down 16%. My average cost was actually like right around probably $128. Okay. We are selling covered calls on AMD right now to get that average cost lower and lower. I do have a stock market tracker, guys. If you want your stock market tracker, guys, it is in the description below, guys. The links are in the description below. Okay, because Robinhood does not track your stuff right. So you have to track it, okay? Trust me. Trust me. Okay? So, AMD over the long haul, guys. Look, I think it's poisoned. And what I mean by that, it's poisoned for growth. It's poisoned. They're going to have a re-acceleration in the balance sheet. Trust me, guys. Look, NVIDIA, yes, NVIDIA is doing great, and people want to compare NVIDIA to AMD because they do compete in a lot of the same sectors. But at the same time, look, NVIDIA has a couple levers. AMD has many levers, in my opinion. I think AMD is way more built out with many different levers than NVIDIA. Okay. And I just think, look, Nvidia didn't have a good strong run up in the past 5 years, besides the one that we've seen currently. But if we look in the past 5 years, look, in 2022, AMD already had their major run up, right? And now they're having a little comeback down, right? But I promise you, now this is not investment advice, but in my thesis, I think AMD will start destroying everybody else. Okay. Now, AMD does not have to sit here and be better than Nvidia. No. All they have to do is make sure they keep on getting more of that TAM over time, right? And they have just some type of competition. Look, where's Intel at? Intel is gone. Intel's out the door, right? Nobody Intel needs help, right? We got Nvidia and we got AMD. Look, and just AMD, I just feel like it's a value play at this point. It's just a beaten down dog. It's strictly a value play in my opinion. And I'm going to sit here and trade it. I'm going to trade options with it, right? So that is the last and final one. Now let's get into the stocks I'm trying to get into this year. Now, guys, all these stocks that I've talked about, I'm strictly doing it for options, right? Kane, how long are you going to hold? Guys, I might hold some of these plays for a few months, and I might hold some of these plays for years. I don't know. So that's why I ask you guys, please get involved with the Telegram group, guys. Please get involved with the Telegram group. So first and foremost is Nike. I think Nike is just a strict value play, down 23.45% for the past year. And look, Nike is pretty simple, guys. The C-suite that they had before Elliott Hill is in there currently as a CEO spot. If we look, he is. Now, the CEO they had in before there, guys, look, he was a consultant, right? If you have watched Nike over the years, like I have, right? And you grew up with the Air Jordan shoes and maybe you watched the movie and stuff and all this and that. Nike has a culture, right? Nike has a culture. And their logo is just do it. All right. So when you have a consultant coming in there and he just is not a perfect fit for the culture of the company, what do you think he's going to lead that company to do? Well, at first he's going to disrupt the culture. And then nobody's really going to care, right? Because it's like, dude, you're a joke. And so now they got the master in there, Elliott Hill, big dog. He's from Nike. He knows how Nike is, and he's trying to bring that culture back. And if he's going to bring that culture back, you know he's going to bring back that share price, right? Now, I'm not going to say he's going to go back to that share price, guys. But I think Nike is easy money over the next 5 years. And it's a growth monster. And I'm going to go show you that. Let's go to the numbers. All right, guys. So cash on hand is 9.76 bill. Debt is 7.97 bill. The net is 1.79 bill. All right, so they do have some cash on hand, right? They have a little bit more debt than I like, but they do have more cash than debt, so that's good. Profit margin, basically 10%. Operating margin, 11.26%. Quarterly earnings year over year down 26.3%, and quarterly revenue down basically, we'll just say 8%. Now look, Nike's a revenue monster. Look, just look over the years, guys. Now let's go to 2024, 51.36 billion, and then we'll go down to 2023, 51.22 billion. So like, look, the last 2 years, right? Has it really been major growth? No. I mean, no, it just hasn't. And that's the problem. Like I said, when you have a C-suite executive in there that don't know culture, right? Now we got our boy in there, Elliott Hill. Let's look at revenue by segment. Okay, so the last year, 31.52 billion from footwear, 13.38 billion from apparel, 2.21 billion from equipment, and global brand divisions, 47 million. Okay, I like to look at free cash flow, and look, still pumping out cash. For the whole entire year of 2024, you're talking about 6.62 billion pumping cash. We're still pumping out cash. Let's look at net income. 5.7 billion last year. That's great. I mean, that's money, guys. That's money. Cash to debt. We already talked about that. I just wish they had a little bit less debts, but we will see. Okay. Now dividends. Look at this. For my dividend investors, my dividend lovers, look at this. Upgrading that dividend over time. Okay. Shares outstanding going lower. Right. Here's the competitive advantages. If you guys want to sit here and read it, pause the video. Same thing for the investment risks. Okay. Now, strictly, I think Nike is undervalued in my personal opinion. I like Nike. I like it for the long haul. I am currently selling puts in Nike at $74 strike price to get into Nike. I like Nike share price wise under $75. Okay. We're going to see if we can get into it. If not, we'll just keep on selling puts until we eventually get in. Right. I mean, I don't want to pay for Nike any more than, I would say, $90. Elf is my next stock, guys. We're down 66.45% the past year. Past 5 years, they're still up. Max time, they're still up. Now, look. I got introduced to Elf when I was engaged a while back, guys. And we went to Walmart. And I was like, look, let's not spend a whole bunch of money on makeup. She's like, don't worry about it. It's Elf. Good quality. On the cheaper side. It's not no Sephora or none of that. I was like, okay, we get there. Quality's good. Look good. She liked what she got. Paid a couple dollars for it. Ain't paying $100 for overpriced makeup. So that's why I like Elf, for that simple fact. Has a 63% analyst rating, right? But look. If we do come into a crash, and I want you guys to be honest with you guys, women love their makeup. So if we do come into a crash, right, where do you think all them people that don't mind spending $100 or a couple $100 on makeup are going to come down to? They're going to come to Elf, right? If they have to buy makeup, right, some girls will be like, I just don't want to wear the makeup. But some girls, they need it, okay? Now, they're not going to still want to be paying $200, $300 for the makeup, especially when hard times are here. So they're going to be like, what's good quality and what can I downgrade to? And that's Elf Beauty, okay? Elf Beauty. Now, you're not really downgrading on the quality, in my opinion, just from what I've seen, but you are downgrading the price point, right? So I think Elf Beauty will be good in the long haul, right? Now, let's look at their numbers. Alrighty. Profit margin, 9% basically. Operating margin, 10%. Quarterly earnings year over year, 31.28%. Quarterly revenue, 31.14%. Cash, 73.85 million. Debt, 202 million. Now, I'm not a big fan on the cash to debt balance, right? But let's look at the revenue. Okay, you can see year over year. This company is just killing it in revenue. Killing it, okay? Let's go to free cash flow. Right, the free cash flow came down, you know what I'm saying? About 37% compared to last year to this year. Well, compared to 2023 to 2024, guys. It is 2025, so I apologize. But it is down 37%, okay? But they're still printing cash, guys. They're still printing cash. Net income wise, 127.66 million in 2024. So still got good income coming in. Cash to debt, like I said, I'm not a big fan. Shares outstanding is slowly going up over time. Here's the competitive advantages. If you guys want to look, here's the investment risk. If you guys want to look, please pause, read it. Like I said, I just feel like Elf's undervalued. I feel like Elf just got oversold, guys. In my personal opinion, I think it's great makeup. I think if in a crash, I think more people would come to Elf. In my personal opinion, I just think they would. You know what I'm saying? Just for the quality of the makeup and the price point, I think it is a good defensive consumer, cyclical, in, a crash. You know what I'm saying? Versus like an Estee Lauder, you pay a little bit higher price for their makeup, right, compared to Elf, but I feel like the quality from that to this, now I'm not a female, but the quality from that to this, is that much different? Is it worth the price point of that? Some people might argue yes. Others be like, well, you know, I don't. But, I'm saying we'll see. So I like Elf price point wise, anything under 70 bucks, guys. I am selling cash secure puts on Elf um currently, but anything under $70, I think Elf's a steal deal. All right. Now let's go over to my next stock. And speaking of that, guys, I do think Elf will double. I would say by 2030, latest 2032, depending on what happens. But I still think Elf will double in the future. A brand, look, they're getting in overseas, right? And there's way more people outside of America, okay? You go out to all these countries in Europe and Asia and Africa and, all these countries out there. There's a way bigger TAM out there than just in America. Okay. So Elf does have major room to still grow, guys, in my personal opinion. Now, the next one. And then I'm going to give you guys a bonus one if the stock market does crash, specifically if one stock does crash. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of juice. Okay. But Google, right here, we do have 2 shares of Google currently. Okay, we are up 78%. Okay, now let's look at Google. Year to date, Google is down 10.5%. Look, I think Google is cheap right now, in my personal opinion, compared to a lot of its peers in the technology space. I do think Google is cheap, but I will say this though too. Google does have a quantum chip, but I feel like they are a little bit behind compared to some people in the AI, just my opinion. But I feel like Google overall will be a great AI play in the future. Look, I think this stock, will it double by 2030? I'm not going to sit here and say that, but I do think long term, and this is super long term, if you buy and hold Google stock for another 10, 20 years, I think over the long term, Google will be a great play. Right now, I'm not going to go into Google's balance sheet because Google's balance sheet is already a dog, right? You're not going to be, I'm just going to be honest with you, you're not going to be a market cap of $2.09 trillion if you're not a dog, okay? And that's simply the facts, okay? But I am being serious. I do think Google is a great play in the future, in a good long-term play. And another one that I do want to get into is I think Meta is a great long-term play as well. I mean, it has basically a monopoly on pretty much all social media platforms. It has Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Meta itself, with the dang goggles and stuff, whatever. Whatever that stuff's called, guys. I don't what's that? Virtual reality, okay? Virtual reality or whatever the thing's called, right? They have that stuff going on. They're pouring money into that. But look, Meta is good overall. I bought Meta like somewhere right down there. Okay, somewhere right down there. I did recently sell my Meta shares. Right, Kane, why you do that? It's just because I don't have enough money for me to really capitalize off Meta as much as I want to. Like, dude, I had 10 shares. Every dollar it goes up, I gain $10. Is that a lot? No, not really. I regret not buying more shares of Meta when I could. Okay, I should have. But I now, Kane, what's the chances of Meta doubling? I think Meta will probably be, $1,200 at least probably 1,200 per share. I would say by 2030 or 2035. I think it'll be a double by 2030, 2035. We'll see what happens, though. We'll see what happens. Hopefully they do a stock split. Hopefully they do in the future. But I still think Meta will get up there. Okay. Now, my last play. Now, this is if old, and I'm just going to go to the main one. Let's if this is if Tesla does crash. Now, if Tesla crashes, right? If we looked at year to date, they're down basically 25% down, basically. Okay. I'm looking at TSLL, right? It's two-time bull leverage, okay? Now, if Tesla keeps on going down, I'm going to definitely pick up shares of TSLL, right? Now, the price point that I want to get into is like anything under 10 bucks. Anything under 10 bucks, I'm hyped to get into. Hopefully we can get into like maybe the $7 range, right? And the 52-week low of this is $4.94. So the reason why is because it is leveraged. So if the market keeps on going down and down, I'm going to look at this. I'm going to watch it, right? So if Tesla keeps on going down and the stock market keeps on going down and there's fear and stuff and this bad boy gets under 10 bucks, I'm definitely picking up probably a couple hundred shares, guys. I ain't going to lie to you. And the reason why is because when Tesla decides to recover and eventually will, and we get out of this time, look, I'm going to make great money on this stuff. I'm not even lying, right? Buy at the low, sell on top, baby boys. Sell on top. And this is strictly an options play that I'm trying to do. So what I would do, I'd come out here and I'll sell some puts to get in. So if it was me, I'd be coming out here probably doing like, oh, let's do the $10 puts. Or come out here and let's, if we want to be super safe, oh, let's come out here and do the $8 put. Get $17 on $800 worth of collateral and let that be that. Okay. But that's strictly just for an options play. And I think when the market does recover, we can go back to actually making some decent money, probably 50% or 100% on this play. We'll see what happens. But guys, that will do it. Those are the stocks that I am planning on buying in this market crash. Some of them I will probably maybe just come out here and buy calls. Some of them I might just sell puts on there. And then once I get in there, I sell cover calls, guys. Please join the Telegram group. And so you guys know every play I make. With that being said, guys, I love you guys. Peace.